Now, follow me on this because I'd like to introduce a different way of looking at college football, maybe a more open-minded way. I like the Big 12. I do. And I think the top of the Big 12 is very interesting and cool. This weekend, it's not just a signature weekend for the Big 12, and it is. I think, and this is not meant to be a hot take at all. I'm being very serious about this. It's an important weekend for college football this year and the future. And I think we have to look at this in a maybe different way. So I'm going to make the case. And part of that case was made by Dan Wetzel, the college football writer for ESPN, on a podcast segment with me yesterday. And he made the point a couple different ways. And I thought, you know what? I believe there's something to his theory. Now, you can decide if you agree with the theory. I can take it and run with it a little bit further. And if you can decide if you think it's a good thing. But I don't think we should dismiss this right now because I think this weekend is a good showcase moment to start to take it in. There is a lot to like, or maybe you dislike, either way, about the mercenary world of college football. I don't particularly like it. And I think mercenary, what I mean by that is players bouncing from place to place. As soon as a player thinks they're not going to get what they want, as soon as a player thinks they're not going to get the touches, they're not going to start, they're bouncing place to place to place. And I've said many times that if I'm going to pay you and I'm going to have terms with you, I need a contract with you. So I think college players should have agreements. And I think they should probably be at least for 2 years, but I could see somebody doing 1-year contracts, I suppose. But I want you to think about this. Has the free movement, has it made the non-blue bloods in college football, has it made the sport more competitive? I think I can make a case that it has. Is it possible, think of it this way, is it possible that college football's version of free agency has created more competition and not less? Okay, I'm open to the idea, and I'm encouraging you to think it through as well. Look, I would tell you this. I think the quality of play, I'm a football scientist. I feel nothing with the game. It's just science to me. And I think the quality of play is suffering. I don't think it's very good. I think the quality of play for quarterback play is suffering. But it may be reducing. Okay, bigger picture here. It may be reducing the advantage blue blood programs have. And I can use the Big 12 and a few others as examples. Okay, Texas Tech and Utah play this weekend. Because it's not giant names, you're not going to care, but I think you should. It's a huge game for the Big 12, and it's two teams that might be really good. And you don't think they are because of the names, but I think that's unfair right now. TCU and SMU play this weekend. The two quarterbacks in that game, and I tell you what, the two quarterbacks in Utah and Texas Tech might be better than most of the SEC as well. But the two quarterbacks in the SEC SMU game are better than probably all but one of the quarterbacks in the SEC. The Big 12 has easily 4 quarterbacks who would be among the best 5 quarterbacks in the SEC or the Big 10. And Baird Morton at Tech might soon make that list as well. We just don't know yet because we haven't seen Texas Tech play anybody any good. They are now. You see where I'm going with this? And Dan Wetzel made a pretty compelling argument about this. And when I can explain this, I think you'll start to see how it makes some sense. I don't think all the transfers, guys bouncing from place to place to place, I don't think it makes the game itself, the quality of play, better. I think the quality of play is worse. It's kind of a mess. But I'm open to the idea that it's changed the power structure. Okay? Texas Tech, quite possibly TCU, Utah, Baylor, maybe Arizona State. I don't know yet. They would all beat Texas. Or at worst, it'd be a close game. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And they'd all be in the top half of the SEC. They'd all be in the top half of the Big Ten. Same for Miami and same for Georgia Tech. Okay, here's the theory, right? true blue bloods and big spenders get their pick of players first. But backups and former stars that don't play right away or, any number of issues, they just don't like the setup. They say, screw this pretty quickly, I'm out. So you've got a few things at play here. One, maybe the blue bloods get it wrong on a guy or two or three or 10. Maybe they're not very good at finding free agents. Or maybe the player is pretty good when they find him, but he's not starting, and so he's out. And he turns out to be a really good player. TCU, Utah, Baylor, Tech, all of them could be getting these guys. There's no such thing as a backup quarterback anymore. If you think you're good and you want the chance to play, you don't wait. I mean, Arch Manning is a market of one, for any number of weird reasons, but they don't stick around. So maybe that guy is a good player and he bolts to somewhere else. Look at TCU. Look at some of these guys bouncing around the country who turn out to be really, really good quarterbacks, better than what you see in the SEC and the Big Ten. And, look, the guy at TCU is light years better than Arch Manning. So is Sawyer Robertson at Baylor. Baron Morton at Tech might be as well. It's a far better quarterback league than the SEC. And I think it fits in this narrative of, as Dan Wetzel was saying, he goes, look, yes, these guys bounce from place to place. It is a form of free agency. It doesn't have contracts. I don't agree with the concept. I don't think it's organized very well. But I'm starting to believe that it's siphoning off the blue bloods and making it's not. Can it help Texas State? Sure. But it's that next level program down, like a Tech or someone, and they're finding these guys, and maybe they're better at finding guys. I think it closes the gap. I can see how that argument works. I do. Does that make sense? Do you buy that? Now, then I think if we can agree that the SEC top half dominance, the top half of the SEC is not that much better than the top half of the Big Ten, which is not that much better than the top half of the ACC, then is it really fair that they would only get 2 playoff spots? I think that is incredibly unfair. Now, I don't know if I'm right yet, but I've watched enough games now that I can't tell you I see many teams better than TCU. I don't. Maybe Tech, too. Maybe Utah. You watch Texas playing, yeah, they're a pretty good defensive team, but their quarterback is awful. You don't see that in the Big 12. It's, I don't know. I think this may play out in a different kind of way than we thought. The problem is the game is bad. The kicking is bad. There's a lot of mistakes, but I do think that comes from guys bouncing from place to place. But I think it's possible that the Techs of the world and the Utahs of the world, TCU has got a really good coach. It may be possible that they use those guys and get better faster. And we're not acknowledging it because we only care about big names. I'm not sure the big names are any better right now or maybe ever again if this is the way it's going to be. Am I saying the free agency is a good idea? Not the construct of it. I think there should be contracts. But I am acknowledging that the free agency may have quickly closed the gap. Because you watch some SEC games. I mean, if you're not biased, and you could watch some of the Big 12, you can watch TCU and SMU play, and I don't think you're going to come away and say, oh, they're going to beat them by 30 points. I'm not sure there are many teams in the SEC to beat them at all. It's closer. They're jumbled together more. Hey, here's a recommendation backed up by my own experience, a great experience. And that is, I've been a client of DJC Law, and I can tell you this. You're going to get 3 things with DJC Law. You'll notice it right away. The difference is you will get peace of mind. They will take care of every single detail perfectly, and you will get the result you deserve. If you're injured by the negligence of someone else, fighting with an insurance company for any reason, trust me when I tell you, you will need DJC Law. Dan Christensen and his team of attorneys have a remarkable track record. I've known Dan a long time. He's a military vet. He's board certified in civil trial law, and I've been a client. So you can trust them. You will get the result you deserve. Check out teamjustice.com, and you'll see thousands of 5-star reviews. The bottom line is, if you're in an accident, you need DJC Law. Contact them right away. 512-888-9999.